Oh, this should be entertaining, Victoria Sterling laughed, swirling her wine glass as she watched 8-year-old Damon Williams set up the chess pieces on her expensive marble board. Alicia, your son is adorable, but does he even know how the pieces move? Alicia Williams, who'd been cleaning the Sterling mansion every Tuesday for 3 years, felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. Mrs. Sterling, if this is too much trouble. Nonsense. Victoria waved her hand dramatically. It's my birthday party, and I want some entertainment. Besides, Thomas needs someone to practice on before his tournament next week. Thomas Sterling, Victoria's 12-year-old son, rolled his eyes from across the room where he'd been showing off his chess trophies to the other wealthy kids at the party. Mom, this is stupid. He probably doesn't even know what checkmate means. That's the point, darling. Victoria called out to her friends who were gathering around to watch. Ladies, come see this. Little Damon here thinks he can play chess with Thomas. Thomas, who's ranked 3rd in the state for his age group. Damon kept his head down, carefully arranging the pieces with small, precise movements. His mom had taught him to stay quiet when Mrs. Sterling's friends were around, but he could feel everyone staring at him. Are you sure you want to do this, sweetie? Alicia whispered to her son. These people, they're just looking for reasons to laugh. Damon looked up at his mother with eyes that seemed way too old for his 8-year-old face. It's okay, Mama. I know what I'm doing. Victoria's friend Margaret laughed. Oh, how precious. He knows what he's doing. Victoria, where did you even get this idea? Well, I was telling Thomas he needed more practice, and little Damon piped up and said he plays chess too. Can you imagine? I just had to see this. Thomas slumped into the chair across from Damon, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Can we just get this over with? I'm supposed to be practicing against real players. You are white, you go first, Damon said quietly, his voice barely audible over the chatter of the adults. Thomas moved his pawn forward carelessly. E4. There, happy? Damon studied the board for exactly 3 seconds. C5. Margaret leaned over Victoria's shoulder. What's he doing? Is that even a legal move? It's the Sicilian defense, Thomas said, sounding surprised. That's actually not terrible. Victoria's smile faltered slightly. Beginner's luck, I'm sure. But as the game continued, something strange started happening. Damon wasn't just making legal moves, he was making good moves. Really good moves. Thomas, who'd been playing carelessly at first, started paying attention. Wait, how did you? He stared at the board, realizing his knight was trapped. Your knight can't move anywhere without losing it, Damon said simply. The room got quieter. Even the adults stopped chatting and started watching the board. Thomas, what's happening? Victoria asked, her voice tight. You're not letting him win, are you? I'm not letting him do anything, Thomas snapped, frustrated. He's actually playing. Damon moved his bishop. Check. Thomas's face went red. He moved his king, the only legal move available. Thomas, Victoria hissed. You're embarrassing yourself. Just beat him quickly. But Thomas was discovering something that was making his stomach sink. This wasn't luck. This wasn't accident. The kid across from him was calculating moves faster than Thomas could even see them. How old are you again? Thomas asked. 8, Damon replied, studying the board like it was a math problem he was solving in his head. Where did you learn to play? Books. Library has lots of chess books. Margaret laughed nervously. Books? Thomas has been taking lessons with a master for 2 years. Damon moved his rook. Checkmate. The room went dead silent. Thomas stared at the board, his mouth hanging open. Victoria set down her wine glass so hard it nearly shattered. That's not possible, Victoria whispered. Checkmate means the king can't move anywhere safe, Damon explained helpfully. See? If he goes here, my rook takes him. If he goes there, my bishop takes him. Thomas was running through every possible move in his head, and Damon was right. There was no escape. This has to be a fluke, Victoria said, but her voice was shaking. Thomas, you weren't concentrating. Play again. Mom, play again. Thomas reset the board, his hands trembling slightly. This time he was going to focus. This time he was going to use everything his expensive chess coach had taught him. Damon was black this time. Thomas played his opening carefully. The Queen's Gambit, just like his coach had drilled into him. Damon declined the gambit and developed his pieces with moves that looked simple but created this weird pressure on the board that Thomas couldn't quite understand. Victoria, Margaret whispered, this doesn't look like beginner's luck. By move 15, Thomas was sweating. By move 20, he was in serious trouble. By move 25, he was getting checkmated again. This is impossible. Victoria stood up so fast she knocked over her chair. Thomas, what is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me, Thomas shouted, tears starting to form in his eyes. He's better than me. Victoria turned on Alicia, who'd been watching in stunned silence. What kind of game are you playing here? Did you coach him? Did you look up Thomas's games online? Mrs. Sterling, I don't even know how to play chess, Alicia said quietly. Then how? Excuse me. A new voice interrupted from the doorway. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't help noticing the chess game. Everyone turned to see Victoria's neighbor, Dr. Patricia Walsh, standing in the entrance to the living room. Dr. Walsh was a retired mathematics professor who lived in the mansion next door. Patricia, thank goodness, Victoria said. Can you please explain to me how this child is beating Thomas? There has to be some kind of trick. Dr. Walsh walked over to the chessboard and studied the final position. Her eyebrows went up. This is quite remarkable, she said softly. Young man, what's your name? Damon, ma'am. Damon. How long have you been playing chess? 2 years, ma'am. And where do you study? Do you have a coach? Damon shook his head. Just books from the library. And sometimes I play online. Dr. Walsh sat down and reset the board. Damon, would you mind playing a quick game with me? Victoria looked confused. Patricia, what are you doing? Indulging my curiosity, Dr. Walsh replied. Damon, I should mention that I was the chess champion at MIT in 1975. Alicia's eyes went wide. Dr. Walsh, you don't have to. Oh, but I want to. Dr. Walsh smiled. It's been a long time since I've seen patterns like the ones this young man is creating. The game started quietly. Dr. Walsh played the kind of solid, technical chess that comes from decades of study. But Damon played like he could see the entire game laid out in his mind like a roadmap. Fascinating, Dr. Walsh murmured after Damon's 10th move. You're playing the Najorf variation of the Sicilian defense. That's grandmaster-level theory. I read about it in a book, Damon said simply. Which book? Modern Chess Openings, and Kasparov's series on chess tactics. Victoria's friends were whispering among themselves now, starting to realize that something extraordinary was happening. Dr. Walsh sacrificed a piece on move 18, setting up a complex tactical sequence. Most players would have taken the piece immediately. Damon studied the board for 30 seconds, then made a quiet pawn move that Dr. Walsh had to stare at for a full minute before she understood what it did. Oh my, she breathed. That's brilliant. You've completely neutralized my attack and set up a counterattack that I didn't even see coming. Thomas was watching with his mouth hanging open. Dr. Walsh, are you losing? I'm not just losing, young man. I'm being outplayed by someone who understands chess at a level I've rarely encountered. The game ended with Dr. Walsh in a hopeless position, facing inevitable checkmate in 6 moves. I resign, she said, tipping over her king. Damon, that was extraordinary. Victoria was staring at Damon like she'd never seen him before. I don't understand. How is this possible? Dr. Walsh turned to address the room. Ladies and gentlemen, what you've just witnessed is extremely rare. This child has what we call chess genius. The ability to understand complex patterns and calculate variations at a level that typically takes decades to develop. She looked directly at Damon. Son, have you ever heard of the term chess prodigy? Damon shook his head. A chess prodigy is someone who shows extraordinary talent at a very young age. Based on what I've just seen, I believe you are what we call a chess genius. Perhaps 1 in 10 million people have this level of natural ability. Alicia was crying now. Dr. Walsh, are you serious? Completely serious. This child could compete with adult masters right now. With proper training and coaching, he could become one of the strongest players in the world. Victoria sank into her chair, looking stunned. But he's just what, Victoria? Dr. Walsh's voice had an edge to it. Just the son of your maid? Just a child from a different background than your son? I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You invited this child to play chess as a form of entertainment, expecting him to lose badly so you and your friends could have a laugh. Instead, you've discovered that true genius doesn't care about your money or your social status. Dr. Walsh turned back to Damon. Son, would you like to learn more about competitive chess? Damon looked at his mother, who nodded through her tears. Yes, ma'am. I would like that very much. Dr. Walsh smiled. Then let's talk about getting you into some real tournaments, and perhaps we can discuss proper coaching. Dr. Walsh, Alicia said hesitantly. We can't afford. My dear, when someone has a gift like this, the chess community takes care of them. There are scholarships, sponsorships, foundations that exist specifically to nurture young talent. She pulled out her phone. I'm going to make some calls. I know people who need to see this child play. Victoria was still sitting in shock as her friends started to leave, whispering excitedly about what they just witnessed. Thomas approached Damon quietly. Hey, could you maybe teach me some of those moves? Damon smiled, the first real smile he'd shown all day. Sure. Chess is more fun when both players know what they're doing. 3 months later, Damon Williams was sitting across from a chess master in the state championship, representing his new chess club that Dr. Walsh had helped him join. The master was 28 years old, rated 2400, and had been playing competitive chess for 15 years. Damon beat him in 37 moves. In the audience, Alicia watched her son shake hands with his opponent, both of them smiling. She thought about that day at Mrs. Sterling's house, when her 8-year-old had been invited to play chess as a joke. Dr. Walsh sat down beside her. 6 months from now, he'll be playing in the national championships. A year from now, international tournaments. This is just the beginning. I still can't believe it, Alicia whispered. Believe it. Your son is something special. He sees the game differently than anyone I've ever met. After the tournament, as they drove home in their old car, Damon looked up from the chess book he was reading in the back seat. Manga. Yes, baby? Do you think Mrs. Sterling knows she made a mistake? Alicia smiled. What kind of mistake? She thought she was playing a joke on me. But really, she gave me the best gift ever. How's that? She let me show people what I could do. Before that day, only you and the librarian knew I could play chess. Now everyone knows. Alicia thought about that for a moment. Victoria Sterling had meant to humiliate a child for her own entertainment. Instead, she'd launched the career of what Dr. Walsh was now calling the most promising young chess talent in decades. Sometimes, Alicia said, when people try to put you down, they accidentally lift you up instead. Damon nodded seriously. Like in chess, sometimes when your opponent tries to attack you, they leave their own pieces undefended. Exactly like that, baby. Exactly like that. 2 years later, 10-year-old Damon Williams became the youngest player ever to earn the title of chess master in his state. He was featured in chess magazines, interviewed by local news stations, and invited to train with grandmasters. But he still remembered that birthday party where a woman thought it would be funny to watch a maid's son lose at chess. He just didn't think about it as the day someone tried to embarrass him. He thought about it as the day his real life began. Because sometimes the people who try to make you feel small end up showing the world how big you really are. And in chess, just like in life, it's not where you start that matters. It's how you finish the game. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.